皆さん、リッチーベルガーです。日本に戻ってきました。すごい嬉しいです。よろしくお願いします。In this video, I would like to introduce my concept how to do the turn control in your downhill turn phase in any kind of speed, not just for high-speed skiing, even from basic turns on, from snowplow turns on, up to intermediate skier, till expert skiers. Now I would like to explain that for a better understanding, I'm also going to demonstrate how it should not be, so you can see much easier the difference and the right way. The most important point of my skiing method actually is the downhill turn control and not the uphill turn control. Yeah, I also got taught in an Austrian method to work a lot with uphill turn control. But with uphill turn control we have many different pressure changes, and this will struggle my balance, especially if I want to speed up, if I want to ski with more speed. And also the advantage of the downhill turn phase control is that the turns became much rounder and almost with the same pressure. I mean, 3 points are important for the downhill turn control. The first point is that we move at the beginning of the turn in a 90-degree angle to the slope, that we don't stay behind the skis, that we don't stay low. Yeah, we have to move our center of mass forward above the ski to bring the whole body in a 90-degree angle to the slope. Then I'm able to do the second step, the second point, which is the swing of the skis. Then I'm able to swing my skis out by mainly by extending my legs. And the swing, that's the third point, the swing shouldn't be just with our tail, the swing should be with the whole ski. We should press against the whole ski. This makes it able to ski a nice and easy downhill turn control. You need to let your body fall down. That's scary. In one point it's scary, but at the other hand, that's the fun of skiing. If you stay always behind your skis like this, skiing is not fun. Yeah, the fun thing is if you let your body fall down into the fall line. And that's the point where you move in a 90-degree position, and then you are balancing nice, you have nice pressure on the ski, and then you're able to move and staying in balance. Yeah, on one hand it can be a forward movement, at the other hand it can be a back pulling movement from your skis to get in a 90-degree position. It doesn't just depend on the high speed or steep slopes, because if you don't use the same technique in your basic turns, it's very hard to change later on. So I prefer to teach in my method from beginning on the people to be more active in the turn beginning, to ski around the turns, and by this way they are staying all the time with the same pressure and all the time in balance, because pressure we need for balance, and if we work a lot with weighting and unweighting, we have a lot of pressure change, and also balancing becomes much harder. I like to have one red line, which is from beginning to intermediate to expert skiers up. I don't like to change too much, because then people they get confused. It's again, once it's the swing and the press against the ski in the downhill turn phase, and then the ski is just running across the edge. In this case, the inside ski is sliding. Usually on Flugbogen, people's outside ski is sliding and inside ski is edging. And I try to make it the other way around. Here in the stem turn you see it nicely, because the whole turn action is happening in the downhill turn phase, and there's no turn action anymore in the uphill turn phase. In the uphill turn phase the skis are just matching, and the whole direction change is happening in the downhill turn phase. Here it's the swing and the pressure against the following outside ski. And on the wrong turn, it's without stemming, it's just edge changing, and then it's speed control. The focus here is not the speed control at the downhill turn phase. The focus here is just the edge change in my downhill turn phase, and then the speed control is happening 100% in the uphill turn phase. Because that's to get the swing in a parallel ski stance later. So it's the step from stem turn to basic parallel. It's not a step, it's the swing. With my push off, I lift up this ski, and with the push off almost at the same times. On parallel turn it's the push off at the same time. Then here with the quick step it's 1 2 1 2 1 2. Then on basic parallel it's the first time with 2 legs. So it's kind of progression. Here is also the point that the control of the turn is by swinging the legs and actively turning the skis, but the size of the turn should stay always the same. The track you are leaving in the snow shouldn't get bigger. It's always same. Then it's nice round. You have to move the whole turn, not just on one point. If you move on one spot, you push your ski, your tails on one spot, and then you slide wide. You have to move gradually, but during the whole turn it's always a movement. It's a movement of increasing edge angle, it's a movement of pressing the ski outside, it's a movement of rotating your legs with your skis. This is moving just on one point. Yeah, it's rising up, but just rising up. No linking movements. Rising up, going straight. Yeah. Moving down and tail pushing. Actually, the exercises which are coming now are showing the points we have been talking. Yeah, we have, like we said, we have to move in a 90-degree angle by pulling back our skis or by moving forward. Yeah, this is what we are doing with the exercises now. You can do this movement in any type of turn. You can already work with snowplow turn with it. You can already do it also with stem turn. Yeah, to move your legs below your body or behind your body. Step turn is from basic parallel to parallel to increase edging at the end of the turn, because just if you're at the end of the turn, you are able to do the step. Yeah, and later you should push off to swing this direction. On basic parallel, we are still a little bit sliding. Yeah, and if I would, in a slided position, lift up my ski, the other ski would slide more. Yeah, so we improve edging, increase edge angle, then we are able to step. That's later on also the way where we are swinging our skis. This parallel turn for intermediate skier, I do the speed control in the downhill phase by pushing the ski a little bit outside and by skidding a little bit. But the sliding part, the skidding, I'm able to keep very small comparing if I would do it in the uphill turn phase. In the uphill turn phase, this sliding part would be much bigger, much wider. So the skidding helps me to control the speed. I don't have to, comparing to carving turns, I need to make all the turn speed control by tightening the turn by a strong edge angle, to be able to stay on the same speed. The forward movement, like we have been explaining many times, should help us to move in a 90-degree angle, to be able to swing the legs out, and the back movement should help us that the tails are not sliding anymore. In free skiing this should happen. In free skiing I want that my ski is going to pass my body and then I have to follow my ski. That makes a speedy turn. That makes you speed up in the turn. From parallel, basic parallel to parallel turns. And this is for carving, and the exercise should be this extending. I'm exercising this extending movement, what I should do later in the snow. I do with the ski up in the air, and at the same time I get this inclined, strong inclined position from the whole body for a strong edge angle. It's not just lifting up the skis. Important is this extending movement from at once parallel to carving. It's also building up early pressure in the turn, having a nice angulated position at the turn beginning, having a nice strong edge angle at the beginning of the turn, and not waiting, rising up, and then from the fall line on, strong edging. Angulated position. In an angulated position, even upper body is able to follow the skis. Upper body is not going straight down and twisted to the ski. Upper body is following, but it's angulated.
And then with new technology, with the carving skis, the shorter skis, of course, we started to change our type of short turns. We started to ski the turns much deeper, with a much longer vertical drop. Upper body is following the ski dips much more than on the Wedeln style. But I mean, both kinds, we should see on the same level. We can see this is old school and this is wrong, and we can say this is new school and this is right. So both kind of short turns, they are true school.
Well, this is for intermediate or advanced skier. It's not carved. It's a little bit slided, a little bit skidded, but as good as possible, making pressure against the center of the ski and not the tail of the ski. And then the turn becomes rounder than if we see later in the tail turns. I mean it hasn't to be anymore so short. The rhythm can be a bit longer because then you are able to dosificate the movement, to make the movement more gradually and rounder. As shorter you ski your turns, as more you start to swing your tails. If you extend your short turns a little bit, if you ski them a little bit longer, then it's easier to make rounder turns, to make the movement more gradually. And in this case, it's all turn control at the end of the turn in my uphill turn. And if you want to make a step up in the next level, and if you want to speed up, this doesn't work with this technique. This is also a pre-exercise of pulling back, because therefore for pulling back we need to bend our ankles. It's from long basic to short basic. Often the people are lifting the ski tip because the position is so far back. If you move with your center forward, then you are able to lift up your tail. And as further forward, as more you are able to lift up your tail. This is actually the same then on long parallel turns. Just the rhythm is changed, and it's also nice linked movements. With the rising movements, the ski has to swing out already. Rising up doesn't mean to continue straight. So one movement is linking the other movement, and it's always moving. This is round carving turn, and it's not pure carve, it's with more speed. It's with, in this case, pulling back the legs to get in a 90-degree position. This is happening very often. Sometimes it's happening because of the situation. Sometimes it's happening because of the snow, the steepness, the speed. And that's also a movement of balancing actually. In this case, just my skis are turning, just my skis are making the turn, and I'm not moving, I don't influence the turn size. This is how we can see it often in the ski areas. People are edging and the ski is turning, just edging and the ski is turning. But that's not the way how we should ski, and that's not the way how we can ski controlled. In this case, I need to rise up. I need to leave this low position. I'm in a very low position, just changing the edges. Yeah, I need to rise up. I need to move back in a centered position, and then I have to try to bend the ski to influence the turn. Of course, also working on the edge angle, but most important is to influence the turn size by bending the ski, and therefore I have again to move back in a centered position, because just then I'm able to bend my ski if I'm in the center. If I'm in a back position and rear position, I'm not able to bend the ski very much.
The advantage of this kind of skiing and this turn control in the downhill turn phase is that you are much easier in balancing, that you're almost skiing with the same pressure on the ski, and that your skis and your turns especially became much rounder than if you control your speed in your uphill turn phase. So check it out and enjoy it.